Okay, so just to prove that I do listen when you leave me comments, that little bit at the end of my movie reviews video where I'm like, if you want me to review anything, let me know in the comments. Today I am going to be bringing you reviews of 2 videos as requested by one of my lovely subscribers. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews or book to movie content here at the weekend. In the description box you will find all of my social links, including my blog and my Goodreads, so you can keep up with my reading in between times, and I have all my full written book reviews on there. Up above I will leave my playlist of movie reviews linked for you in case there is something in particular you are thinking of watching this weekend that I have spoken about recently. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and today I am going to be talking about 2 movies streaming on Hulu. If you are not in the US, I'm not sure where they are streaming with you, but I'm sure you'll be able to find them somewhere, because these are the kind of movies that you find on straight to streaming. I'm going to be talking about Bad Hair Day and Greener Grass, which are both kind of satirical horror movies, so they were very appropriate to be watching in the week leading up to Halloween. I do kind of prefer my horror movies to be of the slasher variety. I'm a, Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger kind of fan. I like that very sort of cliched horror movie stuff, but I do also like a dark comedy or a kind of satirical horror movie. So let's talk about Bad Hair first of all. This, I thought it was a Hulu original, but I think it might just be the fact that it's come straight to streaming on Hulu. And this is very kind of like late 80s, early 90s style of movie. Girl wants to get herself on the ladder, climbing that corporate ladder, wants to get ahead at work, wants to break into television, really has always wanted to be in the media, and she's basically told that she needs to get better hair in order to do that. We have new boss Vanessa Williams saying that her kind of natural afro hair is just not good enough, and so sends her to a hairstylist who is played by the wonderful Laverne Cox. I love everything that Laverne Cox does. Whenever she pops up in a film, I'm like, yes. And she plays the hairstylist that gives her this crazy weave that it's not a spoiler, but we find out that this weave has come from evil places. We kind of see that right at the very beginning of the film, and may have some element of kind of witchcraft about it. I like the concept of this film, and once we got into the hair actually causing harm, both to our main character and all the characters around her, I really enjoyed it. There are some pretty bad special effects. However, a lot of the film is kind of filmed like you would expect to have seen were you watching a VHS movie in the like early 90s, late 80s, and so I don't know if the special effects were deliberately not great to keep up that feeling of like, grainy, low budget type of thing, but if they were, then that's absolutely fine. But don't be looking for like, amazing CGI, realistic kind of gore and horror in this one, because it's just not there. But once we got into the actual horror part of it, it was, kind of going into being like your classic horror movie. It's based on a kind of urban legend slash, kind of fairy story found in a book that's been passed down through her family, and she kind of realizes that things are playing out a little bit like this. Once we got into that bit, it was quite good, but the beginning part of it was just way too slow. It took so long to get into the action. We really got her backstory of, she wants to be a career woman, she wants to progress, and she's going to have to do this, and her family's holding her back, and this is why she's got such a sensitive head and hasn't had a weave before. And I just think there was like too much backstory before we got into the actual like bad hair portion of it as the film is titled. Once we got into that bit, it was like, oh, okay. But because that first bit was a little bit slower, I feel like I didn't quite care as much what happened to her and her friends and family. So the killings, I was like, oh yeah, they're dead now, okay. Or, all right, okay. Oh yeah, she's a bit witchy too, okay then. It didn't kind of come as a massive surprise. I think that even before we had our streaming networks, I think this would have been one of those ones that went straight to video or straight to DVD, and I maybe would have checked it out of Blockbuster in the run-up to Halloween the same as I did, and kind of been the same amount of underwhelmed as I was. I thought that the idea was really good, but I think that the actual like carrying out of that idea, the filming and the editing, could have just been a little bit better. And yeah, it's got like Usher pops up in this film, and it's got some SNL people in there, and so it should have been pretty good, but I think that they could have done better. However, it was only your classic 90 minutes. I think it's like 93-minute film, so it wasn't too much time, you know, spent watching a film I wasn't entirely enjoying. And then we have Greener Grass, which I would say, if Bad Hair is like a satirical horror, Greener Grass kind of flips over that like midpoint into being more of a comedy than a horror. Greener Grass reminded me of a more like extreme Stepford Wives / Drop Dead Gorgeous, because it's set in this like Truman Show-esque ideal world, and we have our kind of two main rival families, Desperate Housewives style, that we kind of follow. And our two main female characters are definitely very much rivals with one another, and their husbands are just kind of there and along for the ride. And it starts with one of the ladies being like, oh, I really love your baby, she's so cute. And the other lady going, oh, do you want her? You can have her. Oh no, I couldn't. Yeah, take her. And then kind of regretting that decision. Something also happens to her other child, so that's kind of weird. But the opening like sequence into the title sequence has this really, really like strained smile. Everybody in the film is obviously all trying to like better themselves and live the American dream, and so they've all got braces. They've all got these train track braces, and so it's this strained pink smile over these like braces on the teeth, and she's just like trying to hold this smile, and it's like really, really shaking. And so that again kind of felt like they were taking a little bit off the Rocky Horror like initial opening titles with the mouth and the lips. And yeah, it just got weirder and weirder and weirder, and I still, having kind of sat with it for 24 hours, I'm still like, did I enjoy it, or was it just weird? It is definitely one that kind of has to be seen to be believed. It's just so odd, and there's a lot of mention of death in it, but there's no like overt like death scenes. I don't think I laughed, but I think I was generally amused enough to keep watching. Beck Bennett is in it, and kind of it feels a bit like he's playing Beck Bennett. I've seen him do definitely better characters on Saturday Night Live. And then the two main women are also UCB performers and wrote and act in the script together, and so it definitely has some like way out there weird things, like they're doing a bit of an improvisation stage show, and there's, you know, suggestions being thrown from the audience like, what if she has a baby but it's actually a football, and they talk about calling it Wilson like in Castaway, but they can't make it the same, so they just call it Twilson. Yeah, that's interesting. But the whole time we've got this like creepy, oh, somebody was murdered and the killer's still on the loose, and he was a bagger at the grocery store, and we kind of have him in the background the whole time. So it does definitely have some like horror aspects about it, but it's generally just very, very weird. Like if somebody put together the Stepford Wives, but they improvised the whole thing. And then, yeah, you added in the like competition aspect of Drop Dead Gorgeous, and then some aspects of like slasher horror and Rocky Horror in there in a Truman Show, Desperate Housewives style neighborhood. It's like a big mashup of lots of different things. And again, it's just like over an hour and a half, so it wasn't a whole lot of my time taken up with it, and I definitely appreciated the suggestion to watch it. I'm glad I've seen it, and I will say to you, with this one, I really do feel like it has to be seen to be believed. If I was doing my usual, should you pay money to see either of these films in the cinema? No, you should not be paying any money to get either of these films. I don't think they are worth your money. However, if you're looking for something a little bit different to watch, I know we're now just out of spooky season, but it's only the 1st of November today. It's okay. Greener Grass, I think you have to see it to believe it. Bad Hair, I wasn't such a fan of. It's not a massive recommendation from me, but if you want to just, you know, have something that's a little bit different this like end of spooky season time, then by all means give it a try. Come back here and let me know what you thought. Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. As always, as evidenced by this video, if you would like me to talk about a particular film, if you would like me to review a particular film, let me know in the comments. Make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my future movie reviews or my bookish content coming at you in the week. And yes, thank you very much for watching. I will see you with my next video.